Hey, boys and girls, and welcome to another session of Reading with Redden, where we are reading our book Wonder by R.J. Palacio. Boys and girls, I'm kind of sad because today is our last day together. We're going to finally finish this book, this wonderful book about August Pullman, who started a brand new school this year, 5th grade. But now that we're at the end, he is now going to be a 6th grader. So yesterday when we left off, they were having their graduation ceremony, and Mr. Tushman was giving a speech. So today, as we finish the story, the graduation ceremony is going to start to come to an end, and things are going to start to turn back to normal as everybody leaves the graduation. And then the story is going to end. I'm so sad. How are you feeling? We've learned a lot of life lessons during this reading. So, boys and girls, there's a lot of things I want you to think about after the story is over, and think about what you're going to do to help spread kindness throughout the world. So, let's finish up Augie's adventure. Awards. I like Mr. Tushman's speech, but I have to admit, I kind of zoned out a little during some of the other speeches. I tuned in again as Miss Rubin started reading off the names of the kids who made the high honor roll, because we were all supposed to stand up when our names were called. So I waited and listened for my name as she went down the list alphabetically. Reed Kingsley, Maya Markowitz, August Pullman. I stood up. Then when she finished reading off the names, she asked us all to face the audience and take a bow. And everyone applauded. I had no idea where in that huge crowd my parents might be sitting. All I could see were the flashes of lights from people taking pictures and parents waving at their kids. I pictured Mom waving at me from somewhere, even though I couldn't see her. Then Mr. Tushman came back to the podium to present the medals for academic excellence. And Jack was right. Zinneman and Chen won the gold medal for overall academic excellence in the 5th grade. Charlotte won the silver. Charlotte also won a gold medal for music. Amos won the medal for overall excellence in sports, which I was really happy about because ever since the nature retreat, I considered Amos to be like one of my best friends in school. But I was really thrilled when Mr. Tushman called out Summer's name for the gold medal in creative writing. I saw Summer put her hand over her mouth when her name was called, and when she walked up on stage, I yelled, "Woohoo, Summer!" as loudly as I could, though I don't think she heard me. After the last name was called, all the kids who just won awards stood next to each other on stage, and Mr. Tushman said to the audience, "Ladies and gentlemen, I am very honored to present to you this year's Beecher Prep School Scholastic Achievers. Congratulations to all of you." I applauded as the kids on stage bowed. I was so happy for Summer. "The final award this morning," said Mr. Tushman after the kids on stage had returned to their seats, "is the Henry Ward Beecher Medal to honor students who have been notable or exemplary in certain areas throughout the school year. Typically, this medal has been our way of acknowledging volunteerism or service to the school." I immediately figured Charlotte would get this medal because she organized the coat drive this year. So I kind of zoned out a bit again. I looked at my watch. 10:56. I was getting hungry for lunch already. Henry Ward Beecher was, of course, the 19th century abolitionist and fiery sermonist of human rights, after whom this school was named. Mr. Tushman was saying when I started paying attention again. While reading up on his life in preparation for this award, I came upon a passage that he wrote that seemed particularly consistent with the themes I touched on earlier. Themes I've been ruminating upon all year long. Not just the nature of kindness, but the nature of one's kindness. The power of one's friendship. The test of one's kindness. The test of one's character. The strength of one's courage. And here the weirdest thing happened. Mr. Tushman's voice cracked a little bit, like he got all choked up. He actually cleared his throat and took a big sip of water. I started paying attention, for real now. to what he was saying. The strength of one's courage, he repeated, and smiled. He held up his right hand like he was counting off. Courage, kindness, friendship, character. These are the qualities that define us as human beings and propel us on occasion to greatness. And this is what the Henry Ward Beecher Medal is all about, recognizing greatness. But how do we do that? How do we measure something like greatness? Again, there's no yardstick for that kind of thing. How do we even define it? Well, Beecher actually had an answer for that. He put his reading glasses on again, leafed through a book, and started to read. Greatness, wrote Beecher, lies not in being strong, but in the right using of strength. He is the greatest whose strength carries up the most hearts. And again, out of the blue, he got all choked up. He put his 2 index fingers over his mouth for a second before continuing. He is the greatest, he finally continued, whose strength carries up the most hearts by the attraction of his own. Without further ado, this year, I am very proud to award the Henry Ward Beecher Medal to the student whose quiet strength has carried up the most hearts. So, will August Pullman please come up here to receive this award? Floating. People started applauding before Mr. Tushman's words actually registered in my brain. I heard Maya, who was next to me, give a little happy scream when she heard my name. And Miles, who was on the other side of me, patted my back. Stand up, get up, said the kids all around me. And I felt lots of hands pushing me upward out of my seat, guiding me to the edge of the row, patting my back, high-fiving me. Way to go, Augie! Nice going, Augie! I even started hearing my name being chanted. Augie! 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 I looked back and saw Jack leading the chant, fist in the air, smiling and signaling for me to keep going. And Amos shouting through his hands, "Woohoo, little dude!" Then I saw Summer smiling as I walked past her row. And when she saw me look at her, she gave me a secret little thumbs up and mouthed a silent, "Cool beans" to me. I laughed and shook my head like I couldn't believe it. I really couldn't believe it. I think I was smiling. Maybe I was beaming. I don't know. As I walked up the aisle towards the stage, all I saw was a blur of happy, bright faces looking at me and hands clapping for me. And I heard people yelling out at me, "You deserve it, Augie! Good for you, Augie!" I saw all my teachers in the aisle seats, Mr. Brown and Miss Patosa and Mr. Roche and Mrs. Ananibi and Nurse Molly and all the others. And they were cheering for me, woo-hooing and whistling. I felt like I was floating. It was so weird, like the sun was shining full force on my face and the wind was blowing. As I got closer to the stage, I saw Miss Rubin waving at me in the front row. And then next to her was Mrs. G, who was crying hysterically, a happy crying, smiling and clapping the whole time. And as I walked up the steps to the stage, the most amazing thing happened. Everyone started standing up. Not just the front rows, but the whole audience suddenly got up on their feet, whooping, hollering, clapping like crazy. It was a standing ovation. For me. I walked across the stage to Mr. Tushman, who shook my hand with both his hands and whispered in my ear, "Well done, Augie." Then he placed the gold medal over my head, just like they do in the Olympics, and had me turn to face the audience. It felt like I was watching myself in a movie, almost like I was someone else. It was like the last scene in Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, when Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, and Chewbacca are being applauded for destroying the Death Star. I could almost hear the Star Wars theme music playing in my head as I stood on the stage. I wasn't even sure why I was getting this medal, really. No, that's not true. I knew why. It's like people you see sometimes and you can't imagine what it would be like for that person. whether it's somebody in a wheelchair or somebody who can't talk. Only I know that I'm the person to other people, maybe to every single person in that whole auditorium. To me, though, I'm just me, an ordinary kid. But hey, if they want to give me a medal for being me, that's okay. I'll take it. I didn't destroy a Death Star or anything like that, but I did get through the 5th grade. And that's not easy, even if you're not me. Pictures. Afterwards, there was a reception for the 5th and 6th graders under a huge white tent in the back of the school. All the kids found their parents, and I didn't mind at all when Mom and Dad hugged me like crazy, or when Via wrapped her arms around me and swung me left and right about 20 minutes. Then Papa and Tata hugged me, and Uncle Kate and Uncle Poe and Uncle Ben. Everyone kind of teary-eyed and wet-cheeked, but Miranda was the funniest. She was crying more than anyone and squeezed me so tight that Via had to practically pry her off of me, which made them both laugh. Everyone started taking pictures of me and pulling out their flips, and then Dad got me, Summer, and Jack together for a group shot. We put our arms around each other's shoulders, and for the first time I can remember, I wasn't even thinking about my face. I was just smiling a big, fat, happy smile for all the different cameras clicking away at me. Flash, flash, click, click, smiling away as Jack's parents and Summer's mom started clicking. Then Reed and Maya came over. Flash, flash, click, click. And then Charlotte came over and asked if she could take a picture with us. And we were like, sure, of course. And then Charlotte's parents were snapping away at the little group along with everyone else's parents. And then the next thing I knew, the 2 Maxes had come over, and Henry and Miles and Savannah. Then Amos came over and Zenamina. And we were all this big, tight huddle as parents clicked away like we were on the red carpet somewhere. Luca, Isaiah, Nino, Pablo, Tristan, Ellie. I lost track of who else came over. Everybody practically. All I knew for sure is that we were all laughing and squeezing in tight against each other. And no one seemed to care if it was my face that was next to theirs or not. In fact, and I don't mean to brag here, but it kind of felt like everyone wanted to get close to me. The walk home. We walked to our house for cake and ice cream after the reception. Jack and his parents and his little brother Jamie. Summer and her mother, Uncle Poe and Aunt Kate, Uncle Ben, Tata, and Papa, Justin and Via and Miranda, and Mom and Dad. It was one of those great June days when the sky is completely blue and the sun is shining, but it isn't so hot that you wish you were on the beach instead. It was just the perfect day. Everyone was happy. I still felt like I was floating. The Star Wars hero music in my head. I walked with Summer and Jack, and we just couldn't stop cracking up. Everything made us laugh. We were in that giggly kind of mood where all someone has to do is look at you and you start laughing. I heard Dad's voice up ahead and looked up. He was telling everyone a funny story as they walked down Amherst Avenue. The grown-ups were all laughing too. It was like Mom always said, Dad could be a comedian. I noticed Mom wasn't walking with a group of grown-ups, so I looked behind me. She was hanging back a bit, smiling to herself like she was thinking of something sweet. She seemed happy. I took a few steps back and surprised her by hugging her as she walked. She put her arm around me and gave me a squeeze. Thank you for making me go to school, I said quietly. She hugged me close and leaned down and kissed the top of my head. Thank you, Augie, she answered softly. For what? For everything you've given us, she said. For coming into our lives. For being you. She bent down and whispered in my ear. You really are a wonder, Augie. You are a wonder. The end. Boys and girls, we've come to the end of our story. So looking from the beginning to the end of the story, how have things changed for Augie? What's different? What life lessons have you learned from this story? What changes are you going to make in your life? For the next time you're at school, for the next time you're at a sporting event, or just out in public, maybe at a cookout or at a party. What are you going to do to be the change you wish to see in the world? So, as we begin to wrap up today, remember those precepts the kids were supposed to write? I'm going to leave you with them and let you ponder on those words. Mr. Brown's precepts. September. When given the choice between being right or being kind, choose kind. Dr. Wayne W. Dyer. October. Your deeds are your monuments. Inscription on an Egyptian tomb. November. Have no friends not equal to yourself. Confucius. December. Fortune favors the bold. Virgil. January. No man is an island, entire of itself. John Donne. February. It is better to know some of the questions than all of the answers. James Thurber. March. Kind words do not cost much, yet they accomplish much. Blaise Pascal. April. What is beautiful is good, and who is good will soon be beautiful. May. Do all the good you can, by all the means you can, in all the ways you can, in all the places you can, at all the times you can, to all the people you can, as long as you ever can. John Wesley's Rule. June. Just follow the day and reach for the sun. The polyphonic spree, light and day. Postcard precepts from the students. Charlotte Cody's precept. It's not enough to be friendly, you have to be a friend. Reed Kingsley's precept. Save the oceans, save the world. Me. Tristan Fitzholtz's precept. If you really want something in this life, you have to work for it. Now quiet, they're about to announce the lottery numbers. Homer Simpson. Savannah Whittingbird's precept. Flowers are great, but love is better. Justin Bieber. Henry Joplin's precept. Don't be friends with jerks. Henry Joplin. Maya Markowitz's precept. All you need is love. The Beatles. Amos Conti's precept. Don't try too hard to be cool. It always shows, and that's uncool. Amos Conti. Zenamina Chin's precept. To thine own self be true. Hamlet. Shakespeare. Julian Alban's precept. Sometimes it's good to start over. Julian Albans. Summer Dawson's precept. If you can get through middle school without hurting anyone's feelings, that's really cool beans. Summer Dawson. Jack Will's precept. Keep calm and carry on. Some saying from World War II. August Pullman's precept. Everyone in the world should get a standing ovation at least once in their life, because we all overcometh the world. Augie. So, boys and girls, although I am sad to leave you, I want you to leave with one thing, if nothing else. What is your precept going to be in this world? What can you take from this story? And what can be your life's motto? So, until the next story on another session of Reading with Redden, I hope everyone has enjoyed the book, and I want you all to enjoy your night. Be kind, spread kindness, and be the change you wish to see in the world. See you, boys and girls. It's been real. Bye-bye.